our Signal Media Executive Interview Series. I'm Diego Lage, Senior Reporter for CIA International Signal Magazine. Welcome to our episode, sponsored by Nokia, which is titled Empowering Innovation, Expanding Nokia's Tactical Solutions. Today, I'm speaking with Dave Peterson, former founder and CEO of Phoenix Group, and now Vice President of Tactical and Business Development for Nokia Federal Solutions. Nokia Federal Solutions acquired Phoenix Group earlier this year, marking a significant strategic move to enhance Nokia's Tactical Solutions products line. The Phoenix acquisition has helped drive advancements in tactical communications by driving research and development initiatives. Dave, can you tell us a bit about your role at Phoenix Group and now Nokia Federal Solutions?
Sure, yeah. Good morning. Thanks for having us. My role at Phoenix Group as founder was to build the team dedicated to redefining how the military communicates and bringing overmatch advantage back to our warfighters. In my new role, I'll be managing business development for tactical wireless at Nokia with a global focus under Nokia Federal, and we will be doing product management. So we're iterating on what we've already created with Nokia, and we're finishing up our first prototype now, so that's pretty exciting.
And what's the motivation behind Phoenix being acquired by Nokia? How does this acquisition align with your company's strategic goals?
Yeah, so we were first introduced to Nokia many years ago, and we started a relationship where Nokia was a supplier to Phoenix Group. So we used Nokia components to build our early products, and that sort of evolved as we grew. And Nokia had a desire and ambition to move into the defense space, I think specifically because of DoD's aspirations to bring 5G to the troops. Nokia helped develop 5G at a protocol level, and it made sense for us to partner a bit more formally and add our knowledge of defense contracting and defense product management to Nokia's understanding of how private cellular networks are built.
Yeah, and could we go into like the specifics? In which ways do you believe, the Phoenix acquisition will enhance Nokia's tactical solutions? Speaking about the product line, because you have a number of products that we've been actually covering.
Sure, yeah. So from a product perspective, Nokia, as a traditional telecommunications or CSP OEM, didn't have a lot of experience or time working with various militaries around the world. I think some of that was there from the sense that they could take their commercial product and move it into an enterprise network architecture at an MOD or within the Department of Defense. But there was no specific focus on tactical products. And that's where our skill set is. That's our wheelhouse at Phoenix Group. And we both understood that there was an emerging market for that, and that it was only going to grow, specifically because of the bandwidth that private cellular brings to soldiers. If you look at things like JADC2, which are on DoD's roadmap for modernization, some of those objective outcomes can only be accomplished with much higher bandwidth systems than the military has today. So from a product development standpoint, we maintain a cadre of engineers. All stripes of engineering live at Phoenix Group. We'll be rolling up under Nokia Federal now, and we'll be working hand in hand with Nokia's engineers and mobile networks to inform, from a manufacturing standpoint, what we need to accomplish to meet the warfighter's needs. As a small company, Phoenix Group could produce X number of systems per year, and we saw an acquisition by Nokia as an opportunity to scale to very large manufacturing capacity and meet not only DoD's needs, but the needs of our Five Eyes and our NATO partners.
Super interesting. I'd like to go into a little bit more on the R&D initiatives that have been accelerated since the acquisition of Phoenix Group?
Yeah. Okay. So when I first went to Finland to meet with Nokia executives years and years ago, my dream was to have a multimodal radio that could do any band of 4G or 5G, very, very simple to use. And that just didn't exist, right? That's not something CSPs care about. Since the acquisition, what we've been working toward are very flexible, band agile, private tactical networks that allow the military to take these systems anywhere in the world. We can train a 19-year-old to turn on a 5G system and run it without anyone else's help in a couple of days, right? So we're never going to teach a soldier how to become a 5G RAN engineer, but we can teach them how to utilize it in a combat environment, even in a denied environment, effectively and safely as an overmatched tool. So the joint product development that we've been doing for the past 6 months or so, we debuted at TechNet Augusta earlier this year. And it is something that we never could have done alone. And I don't think Nokia could have done without us. So from a technical marriage standpoint of this acquisition, we're having some success there. What we've been able to do is take our original design ideas on products, on the Banshee tactical networks that we created here, and expand that to a much more capable system that meets the needs of government.
I'd like to better understand the advancements in tactical comms that you observed that you've been working on since the integration of Phoenix and Nokia Federal Solutions.
Sure. So most of our design engineering has been informed by our time in combat. Most of the people at Phoenix Group are former special operations people who have left the military and then gone on to degrees in engineering of some discipline. So we first got into private cellular networks because of our experiences overseas, where we began to run into near-peer adversaries in certain countries, and they were able to deny some of our communications, our legacy comms. We saw private cellular as a way to provide resiliency and redundancy to what the military already has. We're not looking to replace anything. We're looking to augment it and make sure that the troops can continue to operate and communicate even against a peer threat. So when we went into our early design engineering, I don't think Nokia really was aware of what we were doing or why. But since the acquisition, there's a full understanding of why and what the need case is. And we're seeing that now across the defense space, not just in DoD, but also in NATO. Everyone understands that you cannot add hundreds of sensors to a battlefield environment. And the idea of adding sensors is I can control much more terrain with sensors than I can human beings. And maybe I need a company of troops to cover what a battalion used to cover through the use of sensors. And to add those sensors to those formations, I need bandwidth. So that's our focus, is the ability to bring IoT concepts to the warfighter.
I'd like to go a little bit deeper into this.
Okay.
I'd like to address all the challenges, right? First, the challenges designing the product, and then the challenges that federal agencies are facing today in this new communications environment. And of course, I'd like to better understand how Nokia Federal Solutions is positioned to address them. In this product line and beyond, of course. I know it's a wide question, but if you could please address it, it'd be great.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge when you're introducing a new emitter into a military formation is always going to be spectrum. So especially in cellular frequencies, right? Because the CSPs lease bandwidth in this or that 4G or 5G band, and we have to make sure that we're not stepping on them. So one of the things that we've taken a lot of time and effort to focus on is this idea of band agility. So if the Army is going to run an exercise in Texas, for instance, They want to make sure that they're not stepping on AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile when they turn on their private cellular systems, or maybe they're cooperating with the CSPs and are working with and through those CSPs. So those are two different ways of working. But our primary focus with Nokia on product development has been the ability to utilize any 4G or 5G band in the world in pairings. So I can take a 4G band and a 5G band utilized in Europe, for instance, and I can use that on a training range in Texas and not have to worry about interfering with a CSP, right? When I travel abroad, all I have to do is swap a module. I don't have to buy a new system. All I need to do is hot swap a card in the new product, and now I'm on brand new bands. And I can do that. I can do two 4G bands. I can do two 5G bands. It's really up to the use case and the commander on the ground.
Wow. And I'd like to continue with better understanding the communications challenges faced by federal agencies today, and how the company is positioning itself to address them.
Sure. So if you look at the outcomes of the past couple of JADC2 iterations, or Project Convergence, or any of the large modernization exercises going on in the Army now, what you'll find is the want to connect any sensor to the right shooter through the use of some smart technology that can identify sensor to shooter and pass data intelligence rapidly. So we want to close the OODA loop. We want to make it very, very tight so that whoever's on the ground needing to make a decision on whether or not to shoot or not shoot, for instance, and this gets even more complex in areas like Indo-PACOM, where you have the tyranny of distance. We want to be the data fabric that connects that sensor to that shooter. And the way we do that is with bandwidth, lots and lots of bandwidth. One of the biggest challenges that I've seen over the past couple of years in military modernization exercises is just the legacy systems can't handle it. So if I have a few aircraft flying around and some drones and maybe a battlefield robot and unattended ground sensors, my network pipes get saturated pretty quickly. And the ability to pass sensor data to the correct shooter becomes difficult. It requires today a whole stack of software to help throttle and manage bandwidth because it doesn't exist. So when we add this capability that Phoenix Group and Nokia have created to that network architecture, all of a sudden those problems go away. So we can stream up to a gigabit per second on 5G to 1,000 people at the same time. I can take video feed from an A10 or an F16 and stream it like Netflix to 1,000 people at the same time. That capability has never existed in the military. Those data pipes have traditionally been very, very precious and utilized for commanders to make decisions on strike, no strike. But what we're doing now democratizes that data intelligence, and everyone gets to view the feed from the drone or the aircraft or the sensor.
Wow. I'd like to look toward the future. What innovative solutions or technologies can we expect to see emerge from this partnership in the coming years? I can't wait, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just coming out of a roadmap discussion to talk about what we're going to be doing in 2025, and there's a lot on the agenda for next year from an engineering standpoint. Most of what we'll be developing is 3GPP based, so we're kind of sticking to our roots in private cellular, but not all of it. And we're communications experts, and I think some of the things that you'll see come out of this new formation will be adjacent to private cellular, but not 3GPP. And some of our focus areas, to give you an example, are software based. So if you look at resiliency for backhaul, which is a priority across DoD right now, we want to create a resiliency stack for the individual warfighter, whether that warfighter is on a ship or on the ground. Having a redundant transport data layer on each individual human is very, very possible. And we've been demonstrating some early prototypes of that software just recently to a couple of Army commands, and we're looking forward to scaling that in 2025.
And looking beyond the company, how does this acquisition position Nokia Federal Solutions in the competitive landscape of tactical communications?
I think we have a unique play. I think we're ahead of most of the other folks who are looking around at tactical 5G, for instance, because we came from we were uniform wearing warfighters, right? So we know where the gaps are, and I think we have some pretty good partnerships now within the defense ecosystem. You know, we have partners across the defense space, other companies, large primes, and small firms that add value to what we're doing. And we're definitely taking a partnership approach rather than a go out and take it all. It's not a zero-sum game. I think the DoD likes to see partnerships happen, and that's our focus.
And looking ahead and talking about, you know, strategy, what is your long-term vision for Nokia Federal Solutions as this integration with Phoenix Groups moves ahead?
Right now, we're kind of still in the education phase where we're letting DoD know that we're here and that we can meet some of the challenges that they have on their roadmap, on the DoD's modernization roadmap. And I think after the education is complete, we've gone a pretty long distance in letting DoD know that we're here. They're pretty aware about what we're doing at a high level. So we've got a top-down approach where we're reaching out to the leadership cadres and OSD and other elements. And then we've got a bottom-up approach from a unit level where we're talking to individual groups in the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, Air Force, and at SOCOM to show them how these technologies enhance their lethality and safety. And we do a lot of speaking engagements with them, sort of showing them what the art of the possible is. And usually it's kind of a light bulb moment for them where they go, holy cow, okay, I get it, I see this. And then that drives requirements. So our long-term goal is to be a real player in the defense space. So we're seeing the budgets align with our vision. I think we had this vision before DoD did. Again, because of the pedigree here. And now that that's all starting to align, we're looking forward to some pretty serious growth out to 2030. Nobody knows what budgets are year to year in defense. You know, there's no way to guesstimate what revenues are going to bring. We're much more concerned about making sure that the warfighter's needs are met, and with that, growth just naturally happens, right? You don't chase dollars, you chase customer needs.
Dave, we're running out of time, but I'd like to get a very quick insight into one of these, at least one of these light bulb moments that you just mentioned.
Okay, I'll give you an example. So we were working with a unit just a few weeks ago who had a problem where they had multiple radios from different vendors, and those were all proprietary, and they don't talk to each other. And in order to bridge those radios into a single network, you had to go and buy a very expensive piece of equipment. And all that equipment did was just bridge the radios. So it didn't add capacity or bandwidth or value to the network. So what we showed them was we can take one of the platforms that we make, and it is a bridge. So now you don't have that expense of buying a custom router is really what it was. We can plug all those different radios into a private tactical network, a Banshee device, and bridge those disparate proprietary systems. But we're also creating a private cellular bubble that can create bandwidth connectivity for up to 800 additional users. And all they need is a SIM card. You don't need to go buy a $10,000 or $20,000 radio to connect to this network. We can connect you with an NSA approved phone and a SIM card securely. And that phone can now talk to your legacy green radio or your Black Radio, your MAN-A. We've integrated MAN-A into Banshee. So private cellular, MAN-A, and edge compute are sort of the three major pillars of our flagship product, the Banshee product line. And people, when they see that, it's kind of like a wow moment where they didn't know that was possible. But at the end of the day, it's just IP. So we're using non-proprietary things, government software, and TCP/IP to bridge everything in a very compact, small device that's deployable and easy to use.
Dave, thank you so much for walking us through the collaboration between Phoenix Group and Nokia and how it will impact the future of tactical communications. Great having you. For more information about Nokia Federal Solutions, please visit their website at nokiafederal.com. Thank you for watching this Signal Executive video. Have a great day.